Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show podcast on the big beefy boy Shaz Beef, and today I'm joined by my fellow old buck Morro from the British Isles, apparently.
Fuck! I wasn't going to curse today.
Your first word.
There was like 10 people that called me British.
Well, look, you were fucking ripping on CM Punk
I
and
actually
Drew
was
McIntyre.
present CM Punk, but you clickbaited the video and edited it to 1 minute where I was being negative about the build.
I just took a minute of that particular podcast.
Anyway, people calling me British. I am not British. I am anti-British. I am anti-imperialist. I'm essentially a communist.
What?
Kind of. Socialist, anyhow. Don't clickbait that now. He said, just that, I am communist.
I'm clickbaiting that,
There's plenty of anything can be done there. I'm not British, I'm Irish, and I'm very proud of it. And calling me British again, we're going to have a problem.
Well, speaking of communism and giving everybody a fair shake at stuff, a 4-hour wrestling pay-per-view just occurred in Wrestledream.
Yes, it did.
AEW Wrestledream. You reviewed Bad Blood last week with Johnny the Beast Mortos.
Yeah.
And enjoyable listen.
Very, yeah. Good.
Yeah.
I didn't talk.
I think me and you were going to disagree a lot more than you and Johnny Mortos did, though.
It was the first time me and John, I thought, disagreed at all on certain stuff.
That you
Not at all.
didn't.
No, we did. We had a few disagreements.
But I mean, like, this is going to be a lot
this
worse.
is going to be, yeah.
Judging by our WhatsApp conversation.
Oh, we had some WhatsApp conversations.
Yeah, where you and Johnny the Beast Mortos teamed up on your old buck.
We did. I thought you were...
Nonsense.
Let's just get into it. The opener, Jay White versus Adam Hangman Page.
I also need to give some context. I'm just back from holidays. I was in Gran Canaria, had a lovely time.
You have a good colour on you.
Thanks. And then I watched the pay-per-view today, 4 hours of my life on my missus's birthday. And now I am here recording a podcast on my missus's birthday. Okay? So, tensions are high. No, they weren't. She's lovely. Big shout out to Donuts. Now, we'll start off then.
Happy birthday.
Where you said. I didn't watch any pre-show.
I watched the pre-show.
Yeah?
Yeah. The Brian Cage match and Atlantis Jr. was good. The Acclaimed and MXM was not good.
I like that they're doing a pre-show as opposed to WWE's, like, just, sports center build-up.
Yeah. No, and then Anna Jay and Cameron was... okay, major botch at the finish. I thought Anna Jay definitely has improved, but it was still a bit clunky.
Where was Mercedes throughout the whole pay-per-view?
She was on the pre-show in what looked like a pre-recorded segment setting up a match for Dynamite.
Queen Amanita.
Yeah, I'm actually going to get into that. I'm glad that she wasn't on the pay-per-view.
A bit of criticism. So am I as well, to a degree. Because my fear was... it's going to turn into a Chris Jericho thing where has to be on the pay-per-view.
Yeah. And one of the things I enjoyed most about this pay-per-view is that some of people like Mercedes weren't on it, and it opened up spots for other people.
Okay.
Like FTR weren't on it, Mercedes wasn't on it. More established stars.
This is going to get into my thought process of something that I'm probably going to allude to in a bit, and I won't say it as of yet. We started, though, with Hangman and Jay White. Yes. Now, it was great to see Jay White back.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Hangman's gear, with the fire flames and stuff. Like, can he not just do a Magnum TA? I've said this before.
Yeah, you've been saying this for a while.
Yeah, just do it. Just be plain.
You could do plain.
Just be plain Hangman, you know. You don't need any colour aesthetics. I get why the fire was on his pants. Mm-hmm. The man likes a bit of arsony every now and again. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't like the frills on it. Jay White looked in phenomenal shape as he always does. Yeah. My issue with the match, and it happened all throughout the pay-per-view. I don't know why, but I have like a big bugbear when like heels just throw up the middle finger.
Yeah, I don't know what your beef with that
I don't know. Either do I. And then they spit at each other. So
there's a lot of spitting.
Yeah, there's a lot of spitting. Now, in 3 separate matches, people spit at each other, which kind of, the more you see people spit, and I knew it at the start. Knew when I watched it, I was like, someone's going to spit at someone. It kind of doesn't have any. I think it's really disgusting. So it doesn't have the desired impact that it should have, if you get me. And then the middle finger as well. Like, I love when Vince gave the middle finger and he's covered in blood. That's like, yeah, okay, I get that. But just middle finger for the sake of it is is a bit silly. And Hangman came out and he gave the middle finger to the crowd, and then in the match, Jay White gave the middle finger to the crowd, and there was a lot of repeated
spots. Did he give the middle finger to the crowd or to Hangman?
Oh, to Hangman. Sorry, apologies. Yeah, Jay White hit him with some.
I agree with
a big spit on his hip as well.
That was a big one. I agree with the spit. Disagree with the middle finger.
Okay,
spitting, like, it can be effective.
It can, yeah.
But like that 3 times on a card, don't need it. And like, it to me, of all the times to use it, made most sense in the Danielson match.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
But it was a face doing it.
Yeah, but it was like after everything that Moxley's done to him, and we'll get into that match later. But it was like after everything Moxley has done to him in recent weeks, going back to the last pay-per-view, is like, he can spit on him. Okay.
I really like Nigel McGuinness on commentary for this.
I thought it was great, yeah.
And I think throughout the whole pay-per-view, Excalibur and Tony Schiavone, I think, are more so Schiavone, are now to the detriment of the commentary team.
Schiavone.
And I loved Schiavone's vibe. I was the WCW head growing up, but I don't think Schiavone added anything to it. Excalibur, I get that he gets the names of the moves and all that kind of stuff across, but I thought Schiavone was completely off his game throughout this whole pay-per-view. There was 1 or 2 calls where he's like, oh, well, like the Amazing Red thing. He was like, oh, yes, and the Amazing Red. I thought we would have seen him sooner. And you're like, you have no idea who Amazing Red is. I've seen a few of his matches. I was like, no, you didn't.
Like, but I do think Taz is a loss.
Okay.
On commentary. I think he's the best they have.
And the reason why I bring up Nigel is because he gets over the fact that Jay White is a counter wrestler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It plays into the finish.
And it plays into the finish, but it plays into the whole match as well. You go, oh, why isn't Jay White doing this, doing that? He's waiting for Hangman to make his move. So as a fan, you're like, oh, okay, I can follow this along. You know, Hangman goes for the buckshot lariat on 3 separate occasions.
Jay always had an answer.
Jay walked out of the way twice, and then obviously the finish.
I love the second one where he didn't walk out of the way, he walked into him.
Yeah.
He crowded the space. He was like, no,
you can't do the flip.
You can't do the flip. It was brilliant. And what I thought was great in the match as well, and these two I just think they're so crisp. They have unbelievable chemistry as well. Like, God, let these guys wrestle more, you know. The knee work that Jay did, that thing on the outside where
that looked cool. I thought he actually messed himself up.
Yeah.
But in terms of being on the outside, and I have a problem with just the referees in AEW, because you're kind of like, they decide to start counting whenever they want.
Yeah.
You know, they get like Hangman gets
the case for ages.
Yeah, I know, but it's a bugbear of mine. Hangman gets the belt, and then the referee is like holding the belt, and then he's like, I want to go back in and count, and you're like, no, you should have been counting from the start.
I don't disagree. I disagree with that.
And like,
I think it's referee's discretion.
It plays into the tag team match. The referee is counting like for 5 seconds, and then like the wrestlers are in the ring for longer. And
I think once the count starts, it can't be stopped.
Yeah, but I just don't get like the discretion that they have. It should be within the rules of the universe, if you get me.
Yeah, but like discretion there, it's like, right,
the rules of the competition.
I'm going to give you a chance to get back in the ring.
We need VAR in AEW.
If you take the piss, I'm starting counting.
Put Mike Chioda or Earl Hebner on VAR.
And then, oh God, have him piped into commentary.
Yeah, like the powerbomb on the steel steps looks sick.
That was awesome.
And the Death Valley driver onto the apron, which is the first of 2 Death Valley drivers onto the apron. One? It was in the triple threat match.
Oh, yeah.
Takeshita and Ricochet.
Yeah.
Or could have been Ospreay.
Ospreay came off behind them.
But some of those things look cool. This is where we had our first disagreement, very first match, because you had stayed up and watched that match last night, and wrote a hell of an opener, and I didn't know what the opener was. So when I sat down to watch it, that rang true in my head, and I was watching it, and I was like, "This is grand." I
thought it was brilliant.
I thought, and our big argument came. I wrote into the message group going, dude, is the crowd dead for the whole thing, or is it just this match? And they're like, what? No, the crowd is hot.
I was like, are you out of your mind? I thought the crowd was super hot for the opener.
No, I don't.
Because you were so sure, I was like, I need to watch this again. So I went back and watched the opener. I didn't watch the whole show again. I watched the opener again. I was like, there was 90-second fuck you Hangman chants. There was let's go Jay chants. There was Swerve's house
I even turned up the TV. I was like, maybe I'm just not hearing it. Maybe it's the sound that is not getting across. I just couldn't hear. I thought I wasn't deathly silent, but it was affecting the atmosphere of the match to me.
I thought there was hot like. That's because Johnny Martz was saying the same. He was like, what did he say? Do you not have a sound system or something? Or is your sound system broken?
Or no, did I get hit in the head?
Oh, yeah, he did say that too.
He did say that
I thought
too,
that was a bit unfair. But anyway.
Yeah, but I think he also thought that I was saying that for the whole pay-per-view because I also made comment of Jack Perry's lack of any heat whatsoever. So, anyway, we'll stick on the opener. Some cool moves. I thought his placement maybe as at the start of the show, it wasn't as hot as it needed to be.
I think there was an obvious.
I'd put the triple threat there.
Opener. Yeah. Like that felt to me like this is an opening match, style of match, But then it's like I still thought it was a great match. I loved it. I thought it was a great match.
It's their first match of the feud, so
yeah, And then like when I think about match placement overall.
And this is just nitpicky stuff from like
match.
Fans, yeah.
Yeah, like the triple threat match was used to me like when you see that card laid out before you watch it.
I'm like, oh my god, there's going to be
straight away. So long. You think the triple threat is the opener,
yeah,
and then they didn't go that direction. I was kind of surprised, but then when you see how the triple threat was used, I thought it was kind of smart as well where it was. So I'm in two minds whether. Should they have opened with the triple threat? Because my worry for this match would be later in the show, it might get lost in the shuffle a bit more.
Well, I think you started off the show with a face going over.
Yeah, fantastic. And also, having Jay White pin Hangman clean as a whistle in the middle of the ring.
Hangman failing the buckshot.
And Jay reversing the buckshot. Like, fantastic reversal. The footwork out of the two of them there was just tremendous.
I have a problem with Jay's finish in that he does another move where he sets up.
It's quite. He does the Uranagi.
Like the Uranagi slam. Yeah. That's it. And I'm like, because we mentioned this about the Stormbreaker and the Tiger Driver. And you're kind of like, it's the same setup. So why wouldn't you just always go for the most devastating one?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about like positioning. Probably to know, is there a slight difference in something there? I don't know.
Like it's the arm over the shoulder. So if you can get the back, and it's the same with the Tiger Driver. The Tiger Driver is probably less effort than the Stormbreaker. So why would he ever? And I know that there's that conundrum.
It's more obvious with the Tiger Driver.
Yeah, but he has that conundrum in his head going, should I use this? Shouldn't I use this?
Yeah.
It's just as a fan, you're kind of like, oh, he's going for the Stormbreaker, which is madness because the Stormbreaker is a cool move, but it's not as cool as
the only problem with the Stormbreaker is you can't do that on everyone.
Yeah. And you can't. He did it on Jericho, and you can't do it on. You can't do the Tiger Driver to everyone either.
No, there's a lot of people who should not be falling on their neck, really.
Yeah. But the Hangman and Jay White match, I thought was fine.
I thought it was excellent, and I thought.
Where do they go?
I think.
Did they continue the feud?
You can do that, but I also think what you've done now is you've established a babyface as a threat.
See, my problem with AEW is, they've established it, and by the next pay-per-view, he'll be doing that.
We don't know that, though.
Yeah, but it's judging by their history.
Yeah. That's the worry.
They blow hot and cold on people.
I think, and I say this with trepidation, to me, this was the best pay-per-view of the year. Now, that doesn't mean...
Say it with trepidation. Say it with trepidation because it's nonsense.
That...
WrestleMania.
No, WrestleMania wasn't that good this year. WrestleMania had... was it Night 2 was really good. Night 1
all I can say is I've pretty much enjoyed every WWE pay-per-view more so than that AEW pay-per-view last night.
For a couple of different reasons, I didn't. Mainly because I felt every WWE pay-per-view had a couple of like noticeable duds. Whereas
I think it's just more. Maybe it's the presentation is making it more digestible, and the presentation of AEW.
We differ heavily on the presentation.
Yeah, but
I actively dislike the 5-match.
I dislike the 5-match too.
Yeah.
But what I can see what it's doing, it's making like Gunther and Sammy must see TV on Raw. So they're given stakes to everything that they do. And whether that's to the dead, I've mentioned I'd love to see like an Andrade
tag team matches,
a tag team match, or a black wrestler on the pay-per-view.
That would be nice.
But it gives credence to the stuff. Every show that they do, and they have a lot of shows.
Yeah, like they loaded up Raw based off what wasn't on the pay-per-view.
And what I find about AEW is everything just blends and meshes together. So like even Dynamite looks the same as a pay-per-view.
Yeah, well, recently they have.
Like the production style of AEW, we probably mentioned this before, I miss like pay-per-view sets.
Yeah.
Designed for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Backlash, you have the pendulum.
We're living in the friggin' LED era. You have
an LED of a waterfall in the background. You're like,
what like,
who
but
cares?
every bloody show now is LED sets. I'm just so like. Remember the old SmackDown Fist and all, like that was so cool. And it was one of the things I loved about All In London was that they didn't have all the LED stuff.
Yeah,
and that like even the guardrails around the ring were guardrails; they weren't like clunky LED things.
Yeah.
I loved that. But where were we?
We're trying to finish.
Oh yeah, sorry, my trepidation. I thought this was AEW's best pay-per-view of the year, and I thought it was overall the best pay-per-view of the year, but it doesn't mean anything unless they get the next 4 weeks right.
Yeah, but the 4 weeks leading up to this, like AEW deliver on wrestling, right? So if that was a pay-per-view from an independent that books once a month, you're like, yeah,
It's the best show ever.
it was a great like if I went to see that live and I was just going to a random indie and they were the matches put on, class. But like they have so many hours of TV to build up to these matches, and none of it is that interesting.
I thought, well, like, I think you're kind of, this is one pay-per-view, like, this year
No, but this is endemic of what they've done.
This year in general, like, the all-out build was good. The all-in build was very good.
Was the build to Wrestledream good?
The build to Wrestledream was not good.
Yeah.
Now, they hampered themselves here.
But that's the problem. Like, they blow hot and cold.
That's what I'm saying about the next 4 weeks being important. Like, I'm saying, with the proviso that they need to nail the next 4 weeks coming off the back of this pay-per-view, because this pay-per-view, in my opinion, and I'll get into more of the reasons why later when we kind of reveal more stuff that happened on the card, was their best pay-per-view of the year. Not just in-ring. And in fact, in-ring, it probably wasn't their best pay-per-view of the year, because what they didn't have was, well, maybe I'm being unfair to Triple Threat here because it was tremendous, but they didn't have that like one instant classic match that they've had on previous pay-per-views, or that Punk and Drew had last week. The pay-per-view wasn't bolstered by this one like unbelievable match of the year candidate. It didn't have that.
There were solid matches on the card.
Every match in my like, and I'm even saying this about Jericho, every match was like a baseline of fuck, that's good. And then the additions of like the way things were refocused to move in a certain direction is what I really thought. Like,
would you have Hangman go through the Bang Bang Gang or the Bang Gang Gang
to get back to Jay White?
Yeah.
So like what I would do is
like you have Juice there, you have the guns there.
Yeah.
Just have Hangman go after Billy Gunn and force the Guns to do something as well.
You can do loads and. Like, this is another thing for Hangman now. Is
if
like,
he's mental, like, if he's gone off the edge, just keep pushing him off the edge.
Yeah, and, like, that's why...
Get him in
like,
decent attire.
And he can lose that, but it was more important for Jay White to win because they needed to bolster their babyface side of the roster with a credible threat, and they've done that, and they've also established now that he can be a threat to Moxley. Like, a Moxley Jay White main event for, like, maybe not Full Gear. What's the one after that? World's End?
I don't know.
World's End, I
but
think.
He goes through, like, with AEW, they don't seem to care to build up people either.
That's what they just did that with that match, though.
Did they do?
Like that's what that was.
Right, we're going to the next match. Willow and Mariah May.
Yeah. Like, excellent match.
It was a good. I think when I was watching it, I was like, all right, the crowd are getting up for it. Because it was the first match was such a damn squib.
Good babyface.
But Mariah May is a great heel as well.
Yeah.
The one
really good dynamic.
Yeah, bar like one pounce I think Willow did at the start.
There was an early pounce,
kind of like
mistimed a little bit.
Yeah, but I thought it was a very solid match.
I
Willow's hits are very solid.
The ending stretch was excellent.
The one bugbear that I have is when Mariah May kicked out She was right by the ropes.
She could have put her leg in the ropes.
But that's so much more of a heel thing to do.
Yeah.
But I was expecting that. So when she kicked out, it was like, all right, she's showing fire or whatever, even though she is the heel.
She doesn't need to show fire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But hard hitting.
Yeah.
Willow strikes look great.
They do. I thought, like, the thing was, like, right, this was the brilliant match, and I really enjoyed it. And I thought the ending, like, that ending, like, minute and a half was tremendous. Really clean, like, had fire, had everything. But it felt like Willow was out of place in this story. This isn't her story.
Yeah.
Like, her story is to eventually dethrone Mercedes.
Yeah. So why was she put into that?
Yeah, that's where I had the issue.
Because the whole issue people are having with Chris Statlander as well is that, like, you know...
That was just like a total retcon, like.
Chris and Willow, and like, then they break up, and Chris is with Stokely, and then...
now Chris is going after Mercedes, but that also...
It should have been flipped.
Yeah, it should have been flipped.
But you can't because Chris was the heel.
Yeah, and Chris should have been moving on towards... Even if she's turning, she should have been moving into a feud with Mariah. And Willow should have been doing something to get her back towards Mercedes. And that was part of my problem with the build to this pay-per-view was those things were muddled as... I'm going to curse again. Fuck.
Yeah, but they were just retconned.
Yeah, like
it's the same way as Swerve is a heel and face depending on...
No, the Swerve thing is totally different.
No, it's not. He has changed to heel and face a few times.
No, the reactions to him have
more so than Big Show.
But his... no, that's not true. But his...
Big Swerve.
Like, Swerve's personality hasn't changed one bit. He's doing the exact same stuff.
We're family.
Well, he's always called him family.
I'm just saying.
Like
that was babyface way of going about it.
Swerve's character has followed the same true line. It's how we perceive him and react to him that's different.
You stop now.
But that's true. It is totally true.
It's not. Good match though, I thought, Maria May and Willow. Because I was looking at it, I hope the crowd really start getting up, and you know they're clapping along to Willow when they come out. But when Willow started stomping her feet and getting, like, she was in a headlock, she started stomping her feet, and people were like clapping and chanting.
Yeah, jumping
and then Willow bites Mariah.
There's a lot of biting on the card.
That's too much biting.
Yeah.
But Willow bites Mariah, and I'm like, why? Like, the crowd are getting behind you, and you do a heel thing to get out of it.
Yeah,
like there's no.
I said the same last week about. Remember in the Hell in a Cell when Drew did the 3-2-1 countdown to the Claymore, and the crowd cheered. I'm like, don't do that. That's it. That's a babyface thing.
Yeah.
And then, like, Willow does a bite, and I'm like, you're the babyface. I know.
But the Dudleys always did get the tables, even when they were heels as well.
I know. It's just a wrestling thing of, like...
Yeah.
But, like, biting to me is either heel or desperation. And there was another bite on the card from a babyface later in the show as well.
Yeah. Danielson.
No,
Danielson bites Mox.
But Danielson bites everyone. He can do whatever he wants.
Fucking everyone. Louis Suarez and people all over the place.
It was Isaiah Cassidy, I think, bit Matt or Nick in the head. I was like,
well, why are you biting him?
You don't need to bite him. He should bite you.
Good match. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Stormbreakers building up to Tony Storm. You know, that's still going to be there.
Well, I think, look, like, it felt like the way the crowd was reacting that, God, you maybe should swerve this and actually put a title on Willow tonight. Just fucking do it.
Yeah, like would Jamie Hayter not have been better in that role? But then again, Maria May still has to win. But if she cheats out Jamie Hayter,
yeah,
because like we know Willow and Mercedes are going to end up together eventually.
I know, and that's the way I felt like that Willow was a guest in this story and it wasn't her story.
Or would you put Mercedes on with?
No. I just don't know. Like, they didn't plan that out properly. Now they got a good match out of it.
There was some criticism online that, you know, people are saying it's the best women's division in the world, but there was one women's match on the whole card. Yeah,
but like loads of other pay-per-views had 2 or 3. Like, and you know, it's not going to.
At the press conference, Maria May, no one had a question for her, and she was like.
The press conferences are increasingly becoming defunct.
They're tiresome, aren't they?
Yeah, like I don't watch them
I don't like the way it's like a mix between kayfabe and real.
Either it's real or it's kayfabe.
Make it all kayfabe.
No, make it all real. Kayfabe is stupid. Like, kayfabe, because like the press are real people. They're not living in a kayfabe universe. So if they come in...
Yeah, but no, they are though, because you're living in a kayfabe universe because...
No, but like Brandon Thurston... Like Brandon Thurston is there asking about like ticket sales and shit. Like, you know what I mean?
But like, why though? No one gives a fuck.
Like, you can text Tony Khan. I'm sure you have Tony's number, Brandon. You can text him afterwards and ask him that.
What's ticket sales?
Like, give me the ticket sales. or like go on WrestleTix.com. They have all the ticket sales there anyway.
There is this whole economy based off, the real life aspects of pro wrestling. Yeah. And, as consumers of the product, we consume two different products there.
I know, yeah. We consume the real aspect and we consume the kayfabe aspect.
For the first time ever, I watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind last night.
Fantastic film.
Unbelievable film.
Fantastic.
You know what I did after?
I'm starting a film YouTube channel soon, so the wrestling film.
The film fan film show.
Yeah, and along with the history fan history show as well.
The first thing I did after was going to IMDb trivia and like read up on how did they do this shot?
Yeah,
you know. And I'm like, sometimes you ruin the magic on yourself.
Yeah, you do.
And I'm not going to seek out press junkets for that film.
No,
after what I mean.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's just wrestling. Like
I really like that movie. There's something special about it.
It's so good. Michel Gondry. French, I don't know. French Canadian.
Going on to the third match.
Perry and Shibata.
The heatless one, Jack Perry.
He got the heat by the end.
He is doing everything to get himself across as this cool badass. He has fire when he comes out. He has that little shitty Walmart mask, and you're like, no one gives a flying fuck about you, Jack Perry.
What he needs to do.
What he needs to do is be 90210.
No, he needs to be a chicken shit heel.
He needs to be 90210. Just be
the rich kid,
Nepo baby. That's all you have to be, a preppy little bitch.
Because we've spoke about this before.
Stop trying to make yourself be bad. Stop trying to make yourself have the same kind of almost aesthetic as Darby Allin.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're not Darby Allin.
Like this edgy, like Darby lives that. Jack Perry. You grew up in Beverly Hills.
He needs to be a chicken shit heel,
or just an emo.
Do you know, like, because they could do like the TNT title is a TV title. So really, like, what should that be? That should be 15-minute time limit matches on TV every week.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be on a pay-per-view.
It doesn't need to, but you can put it there, but it doesn't need to be there. Now, if you're Jack Perry as a heel, you can do so much like unbelievable chicken shit heel stuff with a TV title. You can like get yourself counted out one week, retain the title. Always stall so it goes to the time limit and you retain it on a time limit. And the way the match finished last night, to me, was a perfect way for Jack Perry to retain the title.
It was a good finish.
One thing I liked about this match is it was to me.
Was it when Jack Perry gave him the middle finger and spit on him?
No, I didn't really go for that part.
Did you not like that?
I like the finger part.
Yeah,
I didn't like the spit part.
I know you like a sneaky finger, all right.
To me, this felt the most real Shibata that we've had probably since he started wrestling again. He felt like there was an aura about him again. I was like, oh.
I think there was polite golf claps when he came out, and then there was ambivalence towards Jack Perry when he came out, and I think the match suffered. It did pick up.
Yeah, I think Shibata I think when people realised that, were like, oh, this is a different Shibata tonight. Are we getting like a throwback here to 2017? I don't know if he can do that all the time, but if he can harness that energy,
but they need to build up. If you're putting people on a pay-per-view, like, you need to be building up these people.
A one angle build.
Yeah, you need to be building up people. Tell people the character, like, because they're just relying on people knowing who Shibata is.
Yeah. Now the thing with their fan, not like all
Jimmy Jacobs, who's fired now and everything's going to be saved in AEW, apparently didn't know who Okada was. He was one of the head writers for Dynamite.
That was
nonsense. I know.
Yeah.
But like, what I'm saying,
people took that online and ran with it. Jimmy Jacobs fucking knew who Okada was.
But what, like, there are probably certain fans that are tuning in and they just see this guy in, plain trunks and, he's kicking this guy with fuzzy hair and they're like, who is this guy? There was no. There wasn't any pre-match kind of vignettes or anything, was there? Now
there was a little video, like 2-minute. They were.
I think that's an avenue that they really need to get better on.
Like the one thing about WWE stuff is the production on their pre-match videos
have always been amazing.
Always, like, I'm going back 25 years.
TNA's used to be great. And like, look at OTT stuff. OTT stuff is great.
Some of the best in the world.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, like, if you look at, the last few Dynamites have opened with these video promos that Mox and his new BCC are doing. and they've been excellent.
Yeah.
So if you have the ability to produce that, you also have the ability to produce unbelievable like pre-match hype videos.
Yeah.
Like clearly the talent is there if you can do those mock stuff.
Yeah.
And like have Darby sit there at a PC for a week and make them, like, you know what I mean?
His skating video before is
awesome. Like,
yeah.
And like, so the talent is there. So you're just not allocating time or energy to it. It's one or the other, or both.
And that's why I feel like. Do you believe this quote where he goes? Because Brian Alvarez said it that there's no long-term storytelling anymore. It's all going to be week to week.
No.
Do you not believe that?
No. We're seeing like the amount of evidence on this show that contradicts that.
No, but the amount of like we just talked about Chris,
Kyle Fletcher.
We just talked about Chris and Stat. Like when they did the Wheeler Yuta thing, I am full sure that they didn't know themselves which way they were going with Wheeler Yuta.
No, they knew that. You can see if you look back the last few weeks. You look at Wednesday night. But he's reaching out to him while Danielson is celebrating.
When it originally happened.
Yeah, I think that was part of the intrigue.
No.
Yeah.
I don't believe so. I think they're like, you know what?
Absolutely think so.
I think, you know what? We're caught in this now because they're all trios champions and we're doing this turn.
No.
Yeah.
No, this is all part of the, like, giving Wheeler more character depth.
I'm not saying it's a fair point. In terms of the finish to that match, I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like the finish.
It was that chicken shit thing. It's the first.
It was different.
It's the first enjoyable time that I've watched Jack Perry since Lucha Express or whatever they're called.
It was a total different finish. I was like, at first I was like, no, I don't want Shabbat. And I was like, oh no, that's a really good finish. I like that finish.
Yeah, it's kind of almost not as cool as Brett and Austin.
Oh, it's never going to be that fucking
cool.
With
the backflip at Survivor Series 96. But no, it was fun.
It was never going to be that cool, but it was like different and it worked. And
then Jack Perry goes.
But Jack, just please be more of a chicken shit heel.
Yeah, then Jack goes for Shibata.
Yeah.
And Daniel Garcia runs out. And they're like, oh, cool. And then
that's the complete right direction for Garcia.
And then
and Garcia should beat Jack Perry.
You know what I seen that though? And I was like, all right, Garcia, he's going to be in the TNT title picture. Jack Perry's not going to be in a World Championship picture. And generally, people who are winning the TNT titles aren't going to be in the World Championship picture. There seems to be a very very thick glass ceiling. Of you win the TNT title, it doesn't it's not like the old Intercontinental title.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I suppose. But that's Samoa Joe. He's already main event beforehand.
Yeah, I know, but like...
You know what I mean? Samoa Joe has the lore.
If you think as well, though, like, if you look at, like what you were saying, the old Intercontinental title, like, way back, like, you know, when it had real, like, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, but to be fair, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Macho Man, you know, they're The Rock, Austin Triple H.
That all took, like, the TNT title, to me, should be, like, the young guys' title, who aren't 12 months away from main event, but are maybe 2-3 years away from main event ready.
Yeah. You had Cody in the inaugural champion, obviously Brody Lee and Miro, who reportedly asked for his release. He had a good run with that title.
Wardlow didn't have a good run.
Hobbs won it, did he?
No, he didn't win it. He fought for it. He
didn't win it in, for a week or something, or was that the FTW one?
He had the FTW, yeah.
Madness. See, Darby, you know, like.
Yeah, the title was positioned differently back then. It was a different thing, though, you know. When Cody and Brody
there's so many different titles.
They need to combine. There's 4 male singles titles. That's one too many.
Oh, well, look, I may as well get into it now. They need a roster split. I don't care what you said. They need a roster split, and they need a pay-per-view roster split because.
They have the roster to do it. I personally don't like that idea.
I'm not saying have 2 world champions.
Yeah, no, you can never do that.
Yeah, I think that dilutes it. And the fact that, you know, this guy's a 15-time world champion when, you know, Triple H won it, or Randy Orton won it 3 times in one night, or Triple H won it 3 times. Yeah. You're just kind of like, stop diluting your world title. Have the one world title running across, but it gives
and then have the TNT title on one show and the Continental on the other,
or whatever, and the international. You can even add in more titles. You can add in.
Don't even do that.
But on Collision, add your luchador title. Add your cruiserweight title.
I'm not totally against the idea of a roster split. I'm not against it. It's like a preference thing for me. It's like, and what it would help focus booking. It would help people get more focus on certain people.
Have 2 booking teams. That's what I think. Have 2 booking teams like they were doing with Raw and SmackDown back in the day, because that only enhanced SmackDown.
It made SmackDown
not so much
better than Raw.
but have Dynamite and Collision, tag titles on one, trios on the other.
Yeah.
The world champion then can cross over, whatever. He can have feuds on both shows. Yeah. But it's given credence then to everybody that is doing something. It's given them specific times.
I don't hate the idea at all.
One women's champion, but have two mid-card women's titles.
Yeah. Like, less titles.
And then pay-per-view wise, then Wrestledream is a Collision pay-per-view, and then every 3 months you have split pay-per-views.
Yeah, like always, if they go in that direction, all in, all out, Full Gear, Revolution, Double or Nothing, they need to be
the bangers. They need to be the big four.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they need to copy WWE's model, and I know they tried it before, but I quite enjoyed seeing the fruits of the labor of like renewed for, like you think of the SmackDown 6 and you think of the main eventers that
but that's how Eddie got to the top, like,
because he was able to have time on national TV to develop. Same with JBL.
I'm not like I just I'm not against the idea.
Now, in fairness,
but I have some, again, to use that word, trepidation.
There's been some bad pay-per-views as well, like the Great American Bash / that JBL won the thing. And
the rest of that pay-per-view,
you had like Mordecai and Bob Holly, and go see more on the JBL documentary that we released. That JBL himself appreciated and responded back to us.
It was a good video.
Yeah, he said, very well done, except I wasn't a heel. Yes. Everyone always loved me.
Yes, you were a heel, JBL. You were a heel.
But I think that...
Yeah, like it is a thing that could work. And it is a thing that actually not just work, but be incredibly useful.
Like this whole, this initial launch of Collision and the soft roster split was stupid.
Anyone who wouldn't work with CM Punk wasn't on Saturday nights.
But like put like FTR on the tag division one, and then have House of Black on just the trios one. So you give... You're going to see FTR. Like, you know when you're tuning into Dynamite, FTR is going to be on it.
Here.
You know, because they're in the tag division one. Yeah. And like same with Hologram, and you give Hologram and like the Cruiserweight, the high flying division, like the X division.
Yeah.
You know, something.
They're your like
a concept similar to the X division.
Mid-cards, Collision.
Yeah, you tune into Collision. And you know at 9:30
you're a fan of Hologram, you go watch Collision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, back to MJF shows up.
So MJF shows up after Daniel Garcia comes out, and Daniel runs off Jack Perry for a second. MJF comes out, which is a big shock because everyone knows he's out filming. I was like, the tan on this man looks fantastic, and then
or ridiculous,
and then Jack Perry strikes Daniel Garcia from the back. And MJF starts beating him down. And throughout this, I'm like, where's Shibata gone? He just came out to save you.
Took a belt shot after it, and the man had his brain replaced.
Right. And MJF's being a heel. And you can see Garcia after taking, like he's blinking, looking up, waiting for something to happen. And then MJF puts on the ring.
Yeah, he says he got it back out of a pawn shop in...
Is that a new ring?
I think it's a new one, yeah.
He said, thanks for telling me my thing's in a pawn shop. And then... You know it's all about the boom. Adam Cole comes out,
baby,
and I'm like, oh, it's very fortunate that MJF happened to be here and Adam Cole happened to be here. Well, we finished that feud where MJF as a face and Cole is a heel.
Yes,
and now just through the passage of time, they have reversed roles. After Adam Cole for months befriended MJF, became his only friend, turned MJF into a face, and then
broke his heart,
backstabbed him, then fucked off, and
got injured. He didn't fuck off.
Yeah, but no, he did. He
was fucked off because he was injured.
Yeah. So he fucked off. Then was gone. MJF then comes back as a heel, and now they're like
back as a face, turns heel on
Garcia, and now you're like, Adam Cole's coming out, this dastardly devil, and he like chases off MJF and then, fist bumps Daniel Garcia. You're kind of like...
Adam Cole was never going to get booed on his return after 12 months.
He should have. If you're a good booker and a good writer, he should be.
There was no writing involved because it's like, more than 12 months?
Cole comes out and teams with MJF again. because he's like, you know what? This is the MJ. This is the MJ.
Worse.
No, it's so bad.
No,
it's so bad. You have someone leave the company for an extended period of time, and he leaves on what was your biggest angle. You're just fucking that all in the bin.
Yeah, good, because that angle was trash.
Yeah, but what's the point?
Retcon the shit stuff.
No, what's the point of investing in this? This is where my problem is. You're trying to invest in people's stories. That's what makes matches interesting.
Okay,
it's the character. It's the characters.
I know, but I'm going to break this down. Right? What happened? The last time we saw Adam Cole, MJF kicked him in the nuts, and I think he pile drove him. Right? That was a few months ago. Adam Cole was back for one night when MJF made his big return.
Oh, yeah.
So, what did Adam Cole... Like, in the meantime, MJF turned heel. After that.
So MJF comes back to a big response as a face, turns heel. Fair enough. We forget about Adam Cole.
Great heel turn on Daniel Garcia.
And now Adam Cole's a face, but by proxy, because the story needs it.
It's not
the story needs it.
Well, he didn't do it. He just showed up to fight MJF, who we know he hates.
To chase and then high five Daniel Garcia or
fist bump. Walked out.
Stop it. Where's the Undisputed Kingdom in all this? They're turning face.
They have been acting face recently.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah. But so
Roddy Strong's a face and Marita Schaefer is a heel. How's that dynamic at home? I want to know this. That was stupid writing, man.
But there's no writing there. There's nothing
exactly.
written.
There's no writing. They're just just send him out and do it.
Our reaction. Adam Cole just walked out and the crowd cheered.
Right. I get that he walked out to beat up MJF.
Yeah.
But then
it would be more ludicrous. It'd be more ludicrous if he said, "Oh, MJF's a bad guy now. I don't hate him anymore."
I get that.
That would be more ludicrous.
No, I do understand that.
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is they're just flipping the switch. And
he just showed up and the crowd cheer him.
Why did he show up?
Because he hates MJF.
Save it. How did he know MJF was going to be there? Oh, he's just hanging around the back.
He's just there at the show.
Britt Baker wasn't on the show. So what's he doing at the show?
Adam Cole's going to the show because he works for the company.
Bullshit.
He works for the company. Maybe he's there to talk to Tony. Maybe he's there to get checked by the doctors to see if he's cleared.
Save it.
Save it for what?
They didn't need it. But you have Garcia coming out, and then MJF, another big return.
And then Adam Cole, another big return.
His second return, reminiscent of, as you said, Cole and Danielson.
Yeah. But Cole got the Danielson spot.
Nonsense.
No, it's great.
Nonsense.
Great
it's
stuff.
not. Are you serious? You were a man that had a problem with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. That whole story said once they get to the ring. This is not. They were.
But what was my final take on the CM Punk Drew story?
I don't know. I'll check it out on TikTok.
Your heavily edited version, clickbait. No. My final take was that I gave it 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 I gave it in the end. Because they wrapped everything up unbelievably in the last match.
So, I know what you're saying, that, Cole just came out to chase off MJF. Bar that. We'll forget about the fist bump. But are you telling me Cole is not going to be a face
Cole's going to be 100% a babyface.
No, that's my problem.
Look, that can be a problem. But, we don't know what his logic's going to be, what his explanation's going to be, if he's ever going to give one.
I had a lot of time off, and, I had time to reflect.
If he comes out and cuts like
I didn't like being the devil.
Like a schlocky babyface promo on Wednesday night. If he comes out and does that, I'm going to be like, oh, God, right, that's a misstep. And I'll say that. I always do. But what he should do is not say anything about that. Just come out and say, I fucking hate you, MJF, and I'm going to kill you. And leave it at that. And
why does he hate him?
I don't know. Who cares? It's wrestling.
Why does he hate him?
Why does he hate him? Don't know. Why does he hate him? Beat him for a world title in Wembley Stadium.
Wembley, right, fair enough. But he had all this plan to turn on him with the whole devil stuff. And
I think that happened after Wembley, though, didn't it?
And then the devil was there for a while, wasn't it? It was in the background.
Yeah, but he only took the devil thing after Wembley.
Yeah, but the devil was...
I think what happened was, didn't they go to like a draw on TV, and then they teamed together. Then Adam Cole lost at Wembley, and then I think Adam Cole thought.
I think the devil was happening before then.
No, the devil stuff came after that.
No.
Definitely.
No,
definitely.
No, because Adam Cole didn't he get injured after Wembley?
It was a couple of months. Yeah.
Anyway. So he hates MJF because he got beaten at Wembley, turns on MJF, and then MJF...
Well, MJF pile drove him and kicked him in the nuts 2 months ago.
Yeah, I know, but like...
If you kicked me in the nuts now, and did a pile drive on me.
After I kicked you in the nuts, yeah, and made you lose your world title, yeah, I'd be like,
and in 2 months' time, and I
understand
saw
that.
you attacking someone.
I understand
like,
that.
Fuck this guy. That's what I would do.
Daniel Garcia shouldn't have fucking fist bumped him. That's my whole thing.
Maybe that would have been like
Garcia, a slight hesitation.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I know what you're all about. You're not friends with people.
Yeah, I don't trust you. But at least there wasn't a hug and a handshake and a raise of the arms.
I'd probably kissed.
Look, if the boys want to kiss, let them kiss.
Yeah. Nigel McGuinness apparently put his lips on Mariah May's trunk. And he's like, that's disgusting. That's what I said. Tony Schiavone, what the fuck are you on about?
That's not disgusting.
Go on anyway. What's the next match?
Next match was the triple threat.
What can you say? It was phenomenal.
It
was great.
Well, like, I have issues with triple threats in general. Like, they're not my type of match. I don't love triple threats. But, like, as triple threats go...
They started off hot.
Like, fucking Takeshita. Jesus Christ, that guy is unbelievable.
He's phenomenal.
All three of them are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Probably the best.
I love that shot. Takeshita.
That's the best match of Ricochet's career.
Probably. Well, like, on a main stage, yeah. Like Lucha Underground, there's some good matches.
Yeah, there's some great.
I loved when he took off the mask at the entranceway and he's standing there, and then the horns on
the screen.
Yeah, I was like, that looks cool.
And his elbows, those two elbows, he did one after another, where he just folded the two lads.
Do you think it looked too choreographed?
I didn't think it did. No,
like, because that was a criticism that Ricochet and Will Ospreay got recently again for their match.
For the other one, I didn't think this looked like a real struggle.
It looked like a good wrestling match.
And like triple threat matches can end up looking choreographed.
Yeah.
And like the stuff they did surrounding the table and that ring work or the apron stuff.
Another Death Valley driver on the apron.
But that whole section on the apron.
It looked like a struggle, I thought.
So good.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times apron sections, and even like Will Ospreay, who does them amazingly, sometimes that, like, it just feels like, all right, we're doing the Will Ospreay apron section. This one was like electric,
Yeah. Ricochet looked cool gear, and
yeah, I thought everyone, like, and I know, like, he face Will Ospreay is losing his title. I thought everyone, everyone involved in this came out better than they went in.
Yeah. I just don't like a screwdriver.
Yeah, like, I would have preferred to go back 18 months and not be a screwdriver. Have it be something else.
Yeah, I hated when the screwdriver was introduced. Kyle Fletcher coming in, costing. Like, why did it have to be, like, someone kind of alluded to it right at the end. Like, a triple threat's no DQ.
Yeah, why did they need the ref to be
out of the ring? And you're just like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, because they're already using the friggin' table.
Table spot was cool.
Really cool.
Kyle Fletcher looks in really good shape.
Fantastic
looks
shape.
Like a beast.
And you know what? Like, Kyle needed this as well. Like, I think this is a great direction for Kyle.
What happens when Dunkzilla comes back?
Like, I think, like, that's the beauty. Like, this story can take another direction then.
Are they?
Because I think eventually,
my fear is that they're building up Kyle just for the Australia show, and then they'll forget about him again.
That could happen. That could happen. He's young, like, why is Kyle 20? I think he's 25 or 26. He's like incredibly young. I think he's like Garcia young.
Incredible shit. Like,
and a really good worker as well.
Like, there's nothing to pick apart really in that match.
It was just an unbelievable triple threat match.
Yeah, I loved like the neck breaker DDT thing, and
so good.
Yeah,
like, and the whole thing of like, the dynamic of the match, right? You have Takeshita, who's like this beast of an athlete, can't fly like the two boys, but is just an unbelievable strong horse of an athlete. And then you get Ospreay, who's like the mix of Ricochet and Takeshita. He's like the middle ground. Then you have Ricochet, who's like the fast, dynamic, whatever, and like all that just played together so beautifully. Everything
looked like it meant something, and it looked like there was proper piss and vinegar to use. So, which I'm gonna forget saying it. The Beast Mortos, when he was up against Hologram, he threw the worst elbow in line I ever seen, because you know that thing when it's going to be ducked, he just went, and like, Hologram was just running the spot, and you're like, it didn't look like he was trying to hit him.
Yeah, all right. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, because it's a nothing passage move.
Yeah.
But like, if you're paying attention, you're like, even if he did hit him,
it wouldn't have done
It wouldn't have done anything.
Whereas Takeshita launches himself at everything. Like.
Yeah, and that's what you want. Yeah. And like the same with the hidden blade. Do you think? I don't know. I suppose
That's what makes the Hidden Blade so good.
Takeshita's a heel, so he benefits, I suppose, from a heel win like that.
It doesn't matter.
Tiger Driver on Will Ospreay, does that write him out for a bit? Or
yeah, I'd say he'll probably he's been on, because his part of his deal is that he gets to live in the UK, and he's going to be taking Dynamite off every now and then.
Carry that feud anyway.
Yeah.
Did they do too many writing out the thing feud? Because I think they do this because they only have so much TV time. So they're like, we're going to give Swerve his big time to shine. Okay, let's write him off for a while. Now we give someone else a big time. Okay, let's write them off for a while.
A lot of it is
there's a lot of comebacks.
I know, but if someone,
Daniel Garcia is back.
I think what happened
MJF is back.
Remember,
Adam Cole is back.
I don't know whether it was a year ago or 2 years ago, or whatever. But there was a lot of discourse about, this guy was on TV for 3 weeks and now he's gone, and there's no explanation. So I think what they're doing now is really trying to give an explanation for everything.
Do a roster split, man.
You don't need to do it for everything. But I think if it's someone like Ospreay, he's a very strong focal point of the show. If he's not going to be there for a couple of weeks,
there has to be a reason.
There has to be a reason. For him, for Swerve, those guys, if it's friggin', I don't know, if Shibata isn't going to be there for a week, you don't need to write him off. You kind of
need to explain why he wouldn't be there, though, if you're going to put him on your pay-per-view.
No, I'm just saying, in general, I'm picking a mid-card guy. But if it's Ospreay or Swerve or someone that isn't going to be there, it's good to do some reason.
And if Ospreay's written off, it doesn't matter because Swerve has been written back in.
Swerve's back, baby.
He's back in his house.
Yeah, his
attire looked cool.
Unbelievable. Class. That was superstar.
I love this line about Nana just been you're still selling weed to kids. And you're
Who was it said that? Was it Hangman or Ospreay or someone said that about Nana's?
I don't know.
Your manager sells weed to kids in parking lots. Sort of brought it back up. I was that's brilliant.
Perfect. MVP and Shelton Benjamin come out. The Hurt? Is that what they're called?
The Hurt Syndicate, I think.
Syndicate. Okay. I thought Lashley was coming.
I thought he was coming. And I was kind of disappointed he wasn't. Now, obviously, they're saving it for something else because he's definitely coming. By all accounts, he is.
I thought that was
signed.
perfect. If I suppose you can't follow up a heel thing with another heel thing, especially with a hometown guy like Swerve. Yeah. This just felt like we're in Swerve's place. Yeah. We need
get him on the show.
We need to get him on the show. But if they had have done it after, what was the match before the Triple Threat?
The Jack Perry Shibata one.
That wasn't the match before the Triple Threat, was it?
Yeah.
And Jack Perry comes out on top of that?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. And then Maria May came out on top of the one. So they went heel,
yeah.
Stupid fucks.
Yeah.
They should have been faced then.
Not necessarily.
I know wrestling's like a roller coaster. You have to go up, you have to
come down,
and then you have to come down. But heel. The Beast Mortos, he wasn't happy now at all with all the heel shenanigans. It seems. Okay, so fine. Nothing really.
Johnny Mortos wasn't happy with the heel stuff.
It went a lot long. It went a lot longer than I anticipated.
Yeah, to me, right, this is a pure Dynamite angle, but I understand why they did it here.
So what was the next match?
Was it Beast Mortis and Hologram?
I know they went with Lucha Rules for it.
Yeah, 2 or 3 falls.
2 or 3 falls, but when you have Hologram, he hasn't been pinned in 15 matches. Yeah. You're just why do a 2 or 3 falls match then where
I suppose he
pretty much has to get pinned.
What I loved about this, and this is what I was kind of alluding to earlier on, where Mercedes not been on the show. These two probably don't make the show if she has a match. And these two have been putting in work and have gotten themselves over on Collision. And what I felt with the crowd was, it was the first time in the night where I felt the crowd was a little bit subdued. But what you have here is what was watching that show, the people who were watching that show in the arena for that show are the AEW pay-per-view fans. Hologram and Beast Mortis are over with the Collision fans, which are the most hardcore of fans. Do you get me? If you're watching Collision every week, you are hardcore fan. But how do you then translate that to your bigger audience of people who want to tune into the pay-per-views? You give these guys 15 minutes on a pay-per-view to have a deadly match.
The same fans. The pay-per-view fans, the pay-per-view fans are going to be the hardcore fans because they're the ones spending their money to watch it.
I know, but the way I kind of see it is there's 3 tiers of fans.
I get
right?
The Dynamite fans mightn't necessarily be watching Collision or whatever.
Yeah.
So the Dynamite fans that are tuning into the pay-per-view for the stuff they've seen on Dynamite, fair enough,
are now getting.
But
But that's what I mean. Like, there's like almost 3 tiers of fans.
If you're buying a pay-per-view, you know what's happening.
Yeah, but like the people buying the pay-per-view and the people in the arena probably aren't watching every Collision. They're watching every Dynamite. They're not watching every Collision.
Yeah.
Like that, like the Collision, the people who watch every Collision, they're also watching every Dynamite. They're also probably watching nearly friggin' every Rampage.
I remember the first time I seen Black Taurus, as his name was.
Yeah.
It's just, it looks mental. The mask looks amazing.
Amazing, yeah. He's a great look.
A great look. Hologram.
He's growing on me.
I like the crucifix bomb.
So good.
It's slick, and then into a pin. Like, I like the way a pin can be a finisher.
Yeah. I thought this was really good, and I was really happy it was on the show. Like you said, it was something different.
I was just annoyed by that.
And I thought...
but those discus lariats are always great.
And they like, this was a real thing of like, these guys have been putting in serious work on Collision every week. They've been doing like 20 minutes on Collision every week between the two of them, like doing really good stuff, getting over with the Collision crowd, particularly when they did that month in Texas. Like not Black Taurus, Beast Mortis and Hologram were super over with that residency crowd, and it was like they got rewarded for it.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like, okay. Like, so if you're a guy down the card now going, geez, if I connect and put in the work, I can end up with a pay-per-view spot now. Which I think like sent the and then they didn't just get a spot, they got 16 minutes.
Yeah, it was a long L match. 2 out of 3 falls, traditional kind of Mexican kind of rules. Black Taurus does a cool dive to the outside.
Oh, that's Thunder Dive.
Yeah, the one where he spins.
Unbelievable.
So into a crossbody. But
also,
when I seen that,
Hologram's tope is brilliant as well. Just tope where
he hangs and then flips.
You know, the one he comes straight out through the ropes with his head and like drives you back and lands on his feet on the aisle. I
can't remember.
Oh, it looks deadly. Have a look at
that. The swan. No, I definitely seen it. It didn't stick out to me.
Yeah.
The swanton looked cool where he has, and Shivani's like, look at the hang time. Sharp Shivani.
And like, yeah, I enjoyed the match and the right winner. And
think Hologram's the right winner?
Yeah, at the moment I do. Yeah.
If it was me, Tony, you know what I do? 2 out of 3 falls match. Have the Beast Mortis win the 2 falls.
Win 2-0.
right at the start.
In 6 minutes.
In 4 minutes. Just whip Hologram. Because Hologram's your cool flippy guy, but man, that attire looks like... Mortis is a marketable
could
man.
Do it an upgrade.
Mortis is marketable. You know what I mean?
I know he's in LFI now with Dralistico and Roosh.
Who's their manager?
Jake the Snake Roberts.
What the fuck is that about?
So they caught an angle last week where Jake made a trade with Don Callis.
Yeah, because Roosh was in the Don Callis family,
Yeah,
wasn't
so
he?
he took Roosh and he got Dralistico and Mortis. So Jake is going to be now managing.
And how did he make a trade with Don Callis? Who did he trade?
Lance Archer has gone to the Don Callis family.
For Jesus' sake. This is stupid.
I like that.
I get like the whole old manager stuff, but Roosh just joined the Don Callis family.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Don used it as a pawn to get
silly.
to get a heater.
I don't know. I don't know if Jake is
going to be around enough.
Yeah, or as dynamic as he once was.
Yeah, but like he's still great on the mic.
Okay.
And Roosh and the boys, you know, Roosh has a little bit of English.
I'd have him sit down in a chair delivering all.
What I would do is not even live promos.
Yeah.
Like do like what the Blackpool Combat Club are doing.
No, I wouldn't even do that.
It's not like pre-recorded.
I'd have Jake sit in like a big chair with LFI all around him, darkly lit.
Yeah. Do you mean in the ring now or backstage?
Backstage.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
oh yeah, I don't mean I mean like just real static, and then you have like not the they're just underlit.
Yeah.
And you have Morto standing there, Dragalistic, because those masks look cool.
Yeah.
Then you have Roosh, standing behind.
Yeah, we're on the same
Jake.
page on this.
Like
100%,
you don't have Jake just standing.
No,
backstage,
I don't want
kind of.
Yeah, and like I don't want the interview stuff. I want these like pre-recorded, produced promos.
Is this tag team match next?
No, I think there's something in between. Darby and Brody King up next. Hell of a match.
I love Brody King.
I love both of these guys.
I love Darby as well. I love
both of these guys. They have such good chemistry as well.
Yeah. It's just you're kind of like, how long has Brody been there?
Was he there 2.5 years? I'd say.
You know what I mean? You'd love Like they should have done something with him.
Like, and because they were on the verge of it after the Continental Classic last year. He got
just
an amazing push there.
That's the good thing with the Continental Classic is that it can make somebody.
Yeah, I felt like Brody was the one in the Continental Classic who got elevated the most. No, Swerve got elevated, but like you felt Swerve had already done a lot of the Hangman stuff, and so he was already kind of. You were like, all right, Swerve's at a top level. But Brody was kind of coming in as a guy who you hadn't seen have many singles matches. He had maybe a couple, like 2 high-profile singles matches ever in the company. Was kind of the third guy nearly in House of Black. But he came out.
Buddy is the third guy.
He is now. But I think at the time.
He's so good as well, Buddy.
Yeah.
And House of Black.
He lacks a bit of personality, Buddy. That's
he doesn't need it, though, if you're in that faction. Just be silent. You know what you should do? He should be in the back with Jake the Snake Roberts, right? And you underline him.
Yeah.
And
Jake's static in a chair.
And he's just standing like that.
Yeah.
And Brody.
Who are we talking about? Rush or
all of them?
Okay.
There should be collision. Should just be Jake sitting in the middle of
for
the whole roster.
For 2 hours.
Wallow in the muck of avarice.
With a snake over his shoulder.
Yeah. Big long snake. Hologram. Just show him over to Dynamite. Or Rampage.
Excellent match.
Cool match. Love the
I've seen some people saying match of the night. I didn't think it was match of the night personally.
I love the use of the stairs. That was cool.
Yeah.
Like right from the start.
Yeah.
I love the way Brody was like, you know what? I'm going to break the count and roll back out because rules matter.
And do you know what I loved as well? Actually, there was a part of me there after the coffin drop on the
outside
onto the steps. I was like, they should do a count out here. They should establish that, like, you can win clean with a count out. You fucked him up outside, and he can't get back in because he's fucked up.
Well, what I thought he should have done, and this is before the finish. I was like, you're getting to 9. Brody should have stayed down. And Darby roll out and say, I'm not winning like this.
Yeah, you could do that
puts
too.
him up. But what Darby did is wait for him to get in the ring. Coffin drop again.
I thought brilliant finish.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I thought was great in this show was there was a great variety of finishes. There was so many different finishes.
Any submission? Oh, we'll get to that.
Yep. Yes, we will.
Really good match. Darby is always entertaining. Brody is always entertaining.
It recenters Darby as well.
Those chops.
Oh man,
I felt bad for
poor Darby.
Bad for little Darby.
He's such a great babyface.
He puts himself through so much for our entertainment.
Is there anyone in any company, like in the last 10 years, who feels like more of like a, what would you call it, like a real like
babyface?
No, like a home team player. Like, you know what I mean? Like a
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, but like
Cody Rhodes plays for the home team.
Something about Darby is just like there's an earnestness to him that
feels real.
It feels real.
Yeah,
Cody to me doesn't feel real.
I don't. Yeah, that's fair enough. No, it like Mick Foley-esque.
Yeah.
Like not just because of the violence.
Yeah,
just
no. It's like the attitude, or there's something like about him that's like,
and which is weird because Mick Foley had like 3 different personalities, but like all of them felt real.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
Darby's like such like. His obviously in-ring wrestling style is a very modern era thing, but
does he become a world champion?
I think now, like, if you'd asked me that 2 years ago,
does he vanquish BCC?
Yeah, he does.
He has to be the guy.
Has to be Darby
because there's so many like Team AEW. This is Team AEW, and you're like,
no, but do you know what this is? Who's he most associated with in wrestling? What did Sting not get to do?
Win the world title?
Vanquish the NWO.
Oh, okay.
Darby will vanquish the BCC.
Right. Really good match. No complaints.
Yeah.
All full of praise because Darby Allin is amazing.
Yeah. And Brody's amazing.
His video beforehand was cool. That
was cool.
You're like, look at Darby skating around on the back of a bus.
He's so...
He can do whatever he wants.
Like, if you'd asked me 2 years ago, Darby a future world champion, I would have said, no, I think like he's...
I knew from the moment I seen him.
Yeah, like I would have said, no, he's a really good upper mid-card guy.
Yeah.
But now I feel like it's like the Mick Foley thing of it comes to a point where it's like, no, like actually this guy is
like
world champion.
There's a lot of holy shit chants that go out, but like legitimate ones for fans at home to be like,
Darby earns them.
Darby the time he did a coffin drop onto the apron, I think it was against Cody Rhodes. I was like, I'm sold on this guy.
Oh, it was like his second match in the company.
And then like you go and you see his stuff with like Ethan Page or like been put in a body bag and been power bombed outside the ring. Oh my god, man! You see the stuff he's doing on indies, and you're like, I just want to get it.
You just think,
go to sleep, darling.
Yeah, I just hope like
he's a good boy.
It's like Darby. Not that he like
he pulls off a pink fluffy top as well, doesn't he?
He does, doesn't he? Like not that he like it's not like a you deserve it run with the title. It's like the guy's earned the title. Yeah. The fans have a deep connection with him. It's like he embodies what the company was supposed to be.
Marketable,
so marketable. Like you see kids there. See a kid there in the front row,
half his face painted,
half the face painted with a sign that says Darby's future tag team partner.
Yeah.
Like he has this connection.
That's long-term storytelling right there.
If that kid comes in 10 years as Darby's...
That's Nicholas.
Nicholas and Braun.
Like, God, WWE was sucked back then.
Oh my God.
Because I remember, like, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
It's a kid from...
It's Rico! I thought it was going to be Dijak that was going to partner with
MXM.
Yeah.
He could have pulled it off, Dijak.
Yeah, but Rico is cool.
So funny.
Yeah.
Man... He's 60-something. He looked fantastic.
He's 60, is he?
63.
I didn't see the match. Is he able to move?
No, he just took one bump.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he took
apparently, like, he was big, he tough motherfucker.
Yeah, apparently.
Like police or bounty hunting, but, like, people had high hopes for him in OVW before he became Rico.
And I think, like, he didn't start wrestling until he was, like, 37 or 8 or something. There's time.
I just wish Darby didn't get a tattoo on his face.
Darby's gonna do Darby things.
Darby be doing Darby.
Yeah, Darby be doing Darby things.
Darby be doing Darby things.
Next we have Young Bucks versus Private Party.
Actually, the most enjoyable I've seen the Young Bucks in a while.
Yeah, like
in terms of actual Christmas of wrestling.
Yeah,
phenomenal. Like
I was so down on this run up until the Claudio and Yuta tag match, and I think from there then they went and had the Kyle and Ospreay match, which was unbelievable. And now this one. Huh? Carl.
Like Cartman.
And you know what as well? I think they've benefited from been taken out of like a center spot on Dynamite. They're now centered as you're the tag team champions. You're not centered as like the most important thing on the show anymore.
Yeah, like
it's helped.
Nicholas. When he did like a moonsault flip in the air and landed on his feet. I was like, this guy,
he's just
is so crisp.
So
I'd love to see them break up.
Do you know what I did? I went
being singles.
I went this morning and I watched their first tag match when Private Party beat him in that quarterfinal of the tag tournament.
Tag match cup
5 years ago.
Won by SCU
5 years ago, and it was actually a great match as well. But like Private Party have improved unbelievably. I was shocked at the difference.
It was cool to see Amazing Red.
It was cool to see him. It's always good to see him.
I would have loved Amazing Red to come out with him.
Yeah, that would be nice. But they can do that in the future when they're actually winning the titles. Bring out Amazing Red.
Brandon Cutler versus Amazing Red. Rampage opener.
1 minute. Amazing Red kills him.
Amazing Red gets a code red off Brandon Cutler and loses.
Oh wow.
Storytelling.
That's a booking right
Storytelling. And then we build up Amazing Red. We'll forget about him for 6 weeks.
Peter Avalon.
Oh, yeah. Is Peter Avalon still there?
I don't know.
Blue pants.
But yeah, really good tag match. Private Party are
bar like the rules not being observed and everything breaking down, and the Canadian Destroyer when Nicholas landed on his back. That looks sore.
That looks
really bad. But yeah, Private Party look cool.
And do you know what? There was a palpable feeling in the audience of Private Party are doing this.
You know what I liked as well? That Top Flight were there.
Yeah.
And they were looking on. You're like,
you're setting up the next generation.
Yeah, like you're setting up your tag division.
Yeah, I do think the tag division has improved a lot in the last 6 weeks. And also, I feel now the Private Party actually should be the next champions. They should be the ones to dethrone the Bucks.
I'd like to see like proper, like the Bucks even to go on a rampage beating all these new tag teams.
Yeah.
And then what you're doing is you're giving these tag teams main event matches. Yeah. You're giving them build on
20
TV.
20-minute slots with the Bucks.
Build on TV, main event matches. And then when the Bucks do bow out, you have ready-made challengers for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think, like, because the build to this match wasn't great. Because Private Party are kind of caught in two worlds now. They're fighting the Bucks, but they're also fighting BCC. They've been involved in a lot of that stuff.
Well, they got bet up and
twice, and then it was like, and then they got the shot against the Bucks. They won that tag match during the week. Got the shot against the Bucks. I was like, but then you could feel this kind of thing in the audience of like, we're actually ready for Private Party to be the tag champions. Like
but that just goes what a bit of solid build can do.
Yeah, and what I think now is like the build to this was too short for them to win last night. So what I think they should focus on now is Private Party have to jump through a certain amount of hoops, and then they beat the Bucks.
It's the most enjoyable I've seen the Bucks in a long time.
I'd agree. Yeah.
I stated famously within our group that they were like an unfunny version of Dale and Brendan from Step Brothers. Still kind, but. Kind of have. I could have done without them on the microphone right at the start. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They've had their working boots on recently, though. Yeah. I felt like over the summer months they didn't have their working boots on.
Just do that, yeah.
Yeah. Just do what you do best, which is put on like 20-minute bangers, like.
Yeah, exactly. Then speaking of bangers,
Briscoe and Jericho.
I'm not going to lie.
You fell asleep.
I fell asleep for about 5 minutes. My missus says I was snoring, little snores and everything.
Like. Tony Khan did me dirty here because I think he knows that my piss break is Chris Jericho, but I think he also knows
that you like Mark Briscoe.
I love Mark Briscoe.
Was it Hillbilly Kung Fu?
Hillbilly Kung Fu, like, and there was so much of it in this match as well.
I actually was intrigued by the match because of the whole Jay stuff that Jericho. Like, I'm. It's sad that they had to go there in terms of like it's a sad thing that happened.
They had to go there. That's
but you're being a heel and you're referencing real life stuff. All right, that's a fucking thing
to
hate.
It's a heel too.
And it helps in the Briscoes. I would prefer
if they didn't.
I would prefer if the Ring of Honor title was banished to Ring of Honor show or Rampage. Just turn Rampage to Ring of Honor. There you go. Boom. 1 hour show. Yeah. But no, it had to be on this pay per view. And I woke back up for the cool table spot.
Yeah, very cool.
That looked. I love seeing innovative different things like that.
Briscoe put in a serious performance here.
Yeah,
he was like
his punches look crisp.
He was working. Like
you can tell JR hadn't a fucking clue what to think of him.
I don't know why they brought JR out for this match.
But they bring him out. Maybe it's like a Jericho thing because doesn't he always request Aubrey Edwards?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. But like also like I get bringing out JR for the Danielson match. He didn't need to be there for this match as well.
He just doesn't know what happens.
No,
Brian Keith came out.
Yeah.
The conglomeration, that name in itself. I get it because it's Mark Briscoe saying conglomeration. He's just mad.
Yeah,
but
it's funny.
It just needs to Kyle O'Reilly.
It's not helping Kyle.
Kyle should have stayed at NXT 2.0.
Probably.
He'd be better off now.
Probably.
Yeah.
I just don't see where he fits in on the card. I know he has this Okada thing coming up, but he's just going to lose there again. And they'll have a really good match and he'll lose. But yeah, I don't.
But Bobby Fish was there when he originally came in, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I'd say
you had Red Dragon.
Changed there, like
You had Red Dragon for a tag division run.
Yeah.
But Jericho, taking that pile driver.
Yeah.
Giving that pile driver.
Yeah.
It was cool. I love the Froggy Bowl.
Like it was, the Froggy Bowl, deadly. It was probably like. I know I've come on here, I've shot on Jericho a lot over the last, 6 months. Probably Jericho's best match of the year. How much that had to do with Jericho is very debatable.
I think they have a star in Big Cass, man.
Yeah, he's awesome,
isn't he? Just don't know what to do with him.
I just think you need to,
he doesn't need to be doing this.
Get him away from Jericho. I know, he probably had to go through this.
Yeah.
To...
The labours of Jericho.
He's going through the labours of Jericho.
Yeah.
And he should come out of it strong.
Yeah.
I just don't drag it out too long or else he'll end up like...
this pay-per-view is dragging and hence this podcast is dragging on. It's Red Dragoning on.
There wasn't a drag of a pay-per-view.
What time is it?
What time is it?
It's my missus' birthday. We have to finish this
main
up.
event.
Main event time.
Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley.
Final countdown. I like the hot start.
Oh, so good. I love
hot
that.
start. Mox looked like a badass walking out. Marina Schaefer I thought was great throughout the match.
She was great throughout the match. And you'd been down on her recently.
Yeah. But the hot start was great.
Yeah.
I think it was a bit of a... there was like the solo was happening during the final countdown, and Danielson was running towards Mox, and then Mox cut him off. I was like, no!
Give me that part, please.
That was the crescendo.
Yeah.
And then I was like, are they just going to do a New Jack and play it throughout the whole fucking...
Yeah, they should have. Well, no, they shouldn't have. But, like, it was deadly. I thought this was Moxley and Danielson's best match together in AEW, and they've had, like, was it 3 now?
You know what I would have preferred?
Go on.
If Mox beat Danielson in 3 seconds.
Could have done that.
Like, what you do is you have Danielson, or Mox refuse to get into the ring. The bell never rings until he has broken him down on the outside and then goes in and pins him 1, 2, 3.
I actually thought they were going to do something like that.
I thought that'd be class. That's my finish, trademarked.
And then
the shit I keep
I actually thought, are they going to do something like that? Or is this outside the ring pre-match fight going to go on for 15 minutes and the match itself be super short?
Yeah.
I thought it was their best match together. I thought it was fucking hell of a match. Wow.
It was a cool match. I really like Marina's kind of inputs into it. I thought they really added to the whole.
You made her look like a badass as well.
And like, you know, she'd do her hair every now and again. She'd kind of look at the referee like, what are you going to do? You didn't see me do anything. Yeah.
You know I'm doing it, but you didn't see it.
Yeah.
And we both know that.
Yeah. Move-wise, you know, there wasn't like loads of...
It was just like, this was like a dirty fight, like, you know?
Yeah. Like the Death Rider on the outside on the concrete. After Mox was after taking the backdrop on the concrete.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a good match.
Yeah, I thought it was their best match together because, like, when they did the 2 matches before they formed the BCC,
it didn't have that fire.
I was underwhelmed both times. I was like, these two should be having a deadly match together. And they finally had that match that I thought they should have together, but that was to do with the fire and the stakes. You didn't like the finish?
No, I hate the finish.
Me and Dumph had this. I was confused. I thought me and you had these conversations before, but it was before we started the podcast when you brought up the arm drop that they established for.
Yeah, I've had this conversation before because I was annoyed about the finish to Joe and MJF because they have previously done 3 arm drops in AEW. And they had done it, I think, in that same pay-per-view with the 3 arm drops or something. And then they did it with Joe and MJF, and it was 1 arm drop. And then they ring the bell, and I'm like...
You give them 3.
But like in previous matches, you have given them 3.
Yeah, but see, the thing was, and I had this argument with Dunph, was it probably like this time last year when this was all going on? And then I thought it was with you, but then I was like, no, it was before we started the podcast.
Which means I wouldn't have even known you.
Yeah, basically. Well, we knew each other. But
look at the rapport we have.
Yeah, look at this. We're the old bucks. And
getting the MRI on Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I went to get an MRI there the other day, and the machine broke.
Do you know who's getting an MRI?
Who?
Bryan Danielson.
Yeah,
yeah, I'd say he's getting several. And with the bulldog choke was never an arm drop. That was established as being like.
Why is it then?
So the bulldog choke is different.
It's a choke.
Yeah,
you're not allowed choking wrestling.
It looks like they are because see, the bulldog choke is with the forearm.
I know.
And the other one is with. I know. And the bulldog choke.
Choking wrestling though.
Well, and AEW looks like you are. And the other choke.
And Danielson was still moving. Like his hands were up here like this.
I thought Bryce called it like 4 seconds too early. If I was to nitpick one thing on the match,
Danielson had to be dead. It looked dead. He was like this. We're calling it.
It needed like not like it didn't need a elongated like fight for the ropes and not get there.
Did Danielson need an out? Going, I didn't tap. I didn't. Maybe. The ref. I was still moving. The ref called it early. Maybe it's part of the story.
Maybe, yeah. I just thought for my like to really nitpicks, I thought it was a tremendous match, and I actually liked the finish in what it does for like sets up that bulldog choke.
Fourth reign,
yeah. Probably is like technically like it's probably only his second planned reign because of all the CM Punk's injury and stuff at the time. But I like the fact that the move was established as being super dangerous. Just like in the opening match, how the Blade Runner was established as can come out of nowhere and it pins the top star. This is like this move.
They're getting it back over again.
Yeah, like this move finished Bryan Danielson's career.
He had mentioned, I thought it was very curious that I think McGuinness mentioned the Brody Lee choke. Yeah. Oh, he beat Brody Lee with this, and I'm like, they're going to use that in the finish.
Yeah, and
maybe McGuinness or whoever didn't know that what the finish is, and
Maybe,
I know a lot of commentators don't, but
it made sense to me that because he'd said the line as well as like, I'm going to give you a warrior's death in your home state.
Wasn't really a warrior's death.
That's why he needed an extra 4 seconds. He needed to, like, he didn't get pinned and he didn't submit, so that was the warrior's death.
Yeah, okay. Then the aftermatch shenanigans.
I thought this was tremendous.
I liked the way faces actually came out to help, even though the BCC were like just kicking ropes. Like, oh no.
Like, I thought this was like 1980s territory, fucking Jerry Lawler down in Memphis type shit. Like, this was just like the audience is they broke the audience at the end.
Yeah, we didn't need the bag. I thought.
Yeah, you had issues with the bag. I thought the bag added to this personally.
No, just to stomp on his neck. That's all you need.
They did that too.
Yeah, no,
like
just do that.
It was such this like brutal and like that. There was one of the closing shots. I think it was the closing shot of the pay-per-view. You had Darby, Orange Cassidy,
Excalibur crying.
That we spoke about this off air. That should have been just deathly silence. Deathly silence. There should have been no commentary.
Like with the Nexus.
Yeah, deathly silence. Like exactly like that. Like there should have been no commentary. Just stunned silence, because the audience were in stunned silence. They were like, I can't believe this is how the GOAT is going out.
AEW put up a tweet afterwards going, we're not going to show you that because it was so violent. I'm like, well, why'd you show it on TV then? Tony? Why show it on TV? It's too violent. You could have cut the feed.
That's a work.
No, you had Excalibur crying.
Yeah.
You had Nigel McGuinness.
The closing shot I thought was like, and like the fact that they had Darby like there shouting that you don't have to do this, like you don't have to do this, and he's been forced to watch it all. It was so visceral. It was like,
but why is Darby involved?
Because he came down. He's the face. You said you wanted face.
Yeah, I know, but like, why is Darby in? But you don't have to do this. Is he good friends with Bryan?
It's not. He had issues with. Sure, Moxley beat him for the
good friends though.
I'm sure.
Bryan probably hanging out backstage talking skateboarding.
It's a vegan stuff. Actually, I'd say they're probably talking vegan stuff.
I don't think Darby's vegan, is he?
Strikes me as one of them
you
vegan
fucking
you're vegetarians.
You
vegans.
stereotyping son of a bitch.
My missus is a vegetarian, and I hate that. You were a vegetarian. I hate that. Danielson's a vegan.
Do you think it would have been cool if, like, for a pay-per-view, because we've talked about implied violence numerous times, if the camera cuts away,
could have done that,
because we have, as wrestling fans of an older generation, when the camera cuts away, something bad has happened.
Yeah. We lived through unhurt.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying like mind that for content or anything, but I'm saying, like,
I think.
Do you think there's room for something like that where we have it in our head?
Yeah, there is,
and do
definitely.
what WWE did with the whole like social media are sharing the clips now.
Yeah, with the Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes thing. Yeah.
So just turn the camera out. Just like we can't show, like just have it on Excalibur, and
I think that's
you don't have it on Excalibur. You can't see his fucking face.
He'd be crying through his mask. I think you're onto something really good there, but I think that for this particular angle,
just do
it needed to be the way it was.
Just do a whole wrestling show where the camera's not on any of the rest.
It's a house show.
Yeah, it's do a radio broadcast of wrestling.
Yeah,
where the commentators are so shocked that they don't speak at all.
Yeah, and all you can hear is some grunts. And some thuds on the mat.
Worst pay-per-view of the year, my estimation.
I thought it was the best pay-per-view of the year, and the reason being is I thought they really have kind of changed the direction of where things are going.
You said this so many times in the last few reviews.
No, not really.
I
haven't.
You have.
Yeah. I thought like they've really centered the promotion in a very smart way.
It's been said to me that I am WWE biased. Are you AEW biased?
Well, what I would say to that on both, I
would agree.
Both counts on your WWE bias and my AEW bias is I prefer the AEW style.
I prefer the WWE. Yeah. That's why.
So therefore, we're going.
But is there a bias to it?
Well, I came out here last week and reviewed Bad Blood. I gave the Punk match 10 out of 10.
You shit all over Drew McIntyre and CM Punk's feud.
You clipped that fucking thing.
We had an argument previously going, I hated that match at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I hate the match at SummerSlam. I hated. I was, and my exact words are, the match infuriated me. That match infuriated me. It infuriated a lot of people.
Furious.
I thought that match was shit. I was furious when I watched that match.
Furious, he was.
Like you prefer the WWE in-house style. I prefer the AEW in-house style. I
don't though. Like necessarily, because
I do at the moment, though.
At the moment, yeah. But historically, I have not preferred. Maybe it's the Vince McMahon effect. I have always sought out an alternative, and I've always got my fix. But when wrestling companies, I'll start dropping off. I dropped off NXT around NXT 2.0.
Yeah, Sam. Yeah.
I dropped off on TNA around Hogan and Bischoff.
Yeah, Sam.
And I dropped off WCW, I'd say around 2000.
I've gone a little bit before that.
And I've dropped off AEW. I'm watching their pay-per-views, but I've dropped off AEW because it just wasn't fulfilling. Like WWE has always been my constant, and I've always kept up to date with what is happening in it. But I was hate watching, and WWE's accessibility always made it great.
Yes,
and that's where
very accessible.
And that's where I think Netflix is going to change the game for WWE.
It's massive.
It's huge because. For us to watch Raw and SmackDown, you're either staying up late or you're seeking it out or whatever, or you're paying.
Yeah, we can just flick it on the next day.
Man, I'm going to be doing my missus is going to be snapping. I'm going to be watching everything.
Yeah, like see, I have recently been watching like chunks of Raw and SmackDown
because they're leaving stuff off pay-per-views and stuff.
SmackDown is so shit.
Carmelo and Andrade is shit, is it?
No, they've had some great stuff, but as a show as a whole,
you just don't like Cody. Because you're an AEW man.
No,
what were you going to say about Cody?
I always like Cody.
Fucking liar.
I just think his neck tattoo is shit and that he's a heel.
Is that my neck tattoo?
Yeah, it's a nice tattoo. You got that tattoo. Go on.
AEW sucks.
Does it? Yeah. It's a weird tattoo to get. Not gonna lie.
That has been the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show.
Show of the year.
Show of the year. This fucking guy.
Depending on how the next 4 weeks go.
So he can't take a show on its face value.
AEW.
We've been the Old Bucks, Shaz, Beef and Morro. Thank you for watching the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show. Please like, subscribe. Call him British.
I'm not British.
Sound off in the comments. Morro is British. Thanks very much for listening. Go check out the JBL documentary.
Dude, that was awesome.
Go on to Over the Top Wrestling's YouTube channel where you will see OTT Insider. Thanks very much for listening.